Hi, this is a message particularly for Mark Levin. What's wrong with you, man? That's crazy. Like, people are not allowed to criticize, to question what's going on in the world. Thousands, hundred thousands of people dying, being tortured, raped, like dragged around in Israel, bombed, losing everything. We watch this on X every day. Murders, live murders, all over the social media every day, and we're not allowed to ask questions. Sorry, we're not allowed to investigate the why, the how. The government tells us that we have to help Israel, so everybody has to provide billions of dollars in taxpayer money to go and kill people on the other side of the world, and you end up on the top 10 anti-Semitic enemies of Israel. You fucking kidding me? And posting stuff about like, what, you make research on me, my kids, whatever. You can read my books, everything's out. Don't fucking touch my kids. Stop harassing and your like manipulation games of making people like blackmailed. You do that or this or that. No, it's time that we all work together, whether we agree on things or not, to see what is the best for the people, not just what you decide from your office, where you and your family has nothing involved in the matter. You're just opinionated. When you have humanitarians, refugees that are telling you what is going on there. Why is UNRWA, the humanitarian rescue in the region, everywhere? Every time there is a conflict, you guys are playing boom boom with your bombs, trafficking weapons with NATO, the war in Ukraine that never ends, when it would be just so easy as giving a piece of land and bringing Putin back to the table and just negotiate the borders and accession to NATO. But they prefer making a lot of money, land grabbing, building new Trump towers and stuff, and flattery over the president for what? Like, the president can't see he's being manipulated left and right, so we can use American arsenal to go and do all the dirty job in the Middle East that no one else wants to do. So we agree on that point. I completely agree that non-violent theories can only be theories because the only ones who benefit from that are the dictators. We all agree on that. I support the United States fully for what they did in Venezuela, for what they did in Iran. It's hard to have clean wars. There were casualties. There were, bombs thrown out of Lebanon over the excuse of having terrorist groups there. But you have civilians being killed that we can see that Israel is acting like in all total impunity, and no one is allowed to question anything, even though he has been accused with a warrant arrest warrant from the International Criminal Court of Justice. But he's still walking around and committing all those crimes, and you guys defend it and calling people cockroaches? You're crazy? Were we all working together? Like the Secretary of War, the Secretary of State, they have like the riskiest, hardest job in the world right now, and they're trying to impeach him for a mess that they created when Biden, who was so nice, I love Joe Biden. I completely supported the Democrats. I love their ideology. Joe Biden is the kindest guy that they took advantage of. They sold the weapons to Israel, and who sold them to Hamas to justify his agenda that he's been having for the past 40 years. That you see videos that he was already saying he didn't want no Palestinians in here. Always the same propaganda, which I agree, there are extremists in the Middle East. They've been bothering us since I was a kid. That's all we hear. 40 years, that's all I hear. The Middle East, the terrorists. So yes, it's good to help, to work together on helping in the region, which no one else is helping. Everybody's commenting, have an opinion on it, but the Europe, we are good in our borders. Europe is well protected. But we also have to go and help the others, not just ask America to do everything and then we throw the rock at them when there is a little mistake. So yeah, it's the most beautiful thing that is happening right now. You have Democrats, Republicans, all working together despite political parties, despite relationships, despite, stories, all the kind of stories that happen between all of us, the United Nations, everybody that you can see in my group. We still, no matter what, we're working together. We're trying to push people to take the right direction. We have each other's back, so join us and support, seek for the truth, and just imagine every day, what is it? What if that happened to you? Okay, what if you were born there? You're born there. It's not your fault. You just end up there and you're in the middle of wars every day. The poor people in Africa, in Sudan, and Ukraine, and all these regions. You don't realize that your real estate projects, your weapon trafficking, all this stuff is so detrimental for actual people. And now I've received so many threats since I started speaking about politics online. And even before I was even threatened for politics, I was threatened because I was posting paintings, symbols, like esoteric symbols and stuff. I was like harassed, first off, because of art, and like explaining symbols and things and stuff. And then people thought he was interested, despite being harassed, censored, threatened. I kept going because I'm not doing anything wrong. And if I find it interesting, I think other people are going to find it interesting as well. Because when I read information or watch conferences and I'm like, what? No. And then I'm thinking about it. Like, how's that possible? Now we have AI. You can ask questions to AI. People don't answer, or you don't always have direct access to specialists to explain things to you. But now we have knowledge about space, about physics, about everything. So this is so cool. So when I learn things that I'm like, oh, wow, that's so cool. Or answers to questions I've been asking myself for a while and things, beam, I write it in my book. Or because I'm doing all this research and gathering work so people can just sit down and read it, even though it took me 7 years of research to put all that together and to gather the network. So it's hard work. So we're not going to tolerate bullying at all. Let me tell you, I didn't risk my life, lose my house, quit my job, being nervous for the people, for my people, for the people that are associated with me, or the consequences because of all these bad practices of yours. So stop that. And there is a justice. I'm sorry. There is a justice. There is international laws that recognize that what's going on in Israel is not acceptable. And I'm not talking about a mistake. Okay, what happened? The school, of course, it's horrible. If my daughter was in one of these schools, oh my God, I would want justice, okay? But these are one incident. You know what I mean? It can be an accident. This was outdated information that they provided. We don't know if people would push someone make mistakes just so to put them in situations where they can blackmail them. This is such a sick environment, but at the same time, it's one isolated, even compared to, you can tell that the intentions of the United States since the beginning of the attacks in Venezuela or in Iran, where there has been absolutely zero civilian casualties. They have been targeting exclusively military facilities, completely transparent about their goals, military goals. They're doing conferences every week. Did you have conferences every week by the Secretary of Defense during Biden? Like the big black guy. What was his name? We never really heard him speak or anything. We didn't know. We just knew that Biden was super kind. He wanted to support Ukraine against the aggression of Russia. They had their pre-made speech. So we have people that are taking risks, not just for America, but for the entire world. We have to have their back. No threats. We're asking questions. So like I said, you have isolated accidents from whoever. Unacceptable. Sorry. Even if that was Israel doing something one time. But it's been 4 years, 3 years, at least, that we see live with attention on it. Because it was already like this before. But everything exploded on October 7th, 2023, when then they had the reason to go and attack everyone. So now they're saying that maybe they organized letting leak those weapons to Hamas so they could, blow up everything and give a reason to terminate them, which it wouldn't surprise me either. But 3 years of daily bombing civilians, of bombing humanitarians, of blocking roads to humanitarians to this day. If you're watching the Lebanon United Nations refugee page, humanitarian page. Okay, so it's not one event. It's daily bombing, daily attacking civilians, daily blocking aid from going and giving food to the people. An entire genocide, 75,000 people. That's completely different, okay? So yes, I don't support the United States partnering with Israel. I think they're being manipulated. I believed when Netanyahu came to the United Nations and he made his speech about all of the above and stuff like that, showing all the terrorist groups around the region. He convinced me. I was like, oh yeah, those burners of babies, like he said, those barbarians, the things he showed, they exist, of course, so we understand. He had us for a second supporting, and we were reopened to talking, and we then established the ceasefire in January. There was one ceasefire before that this year. I don't remember what date, but in 2025. They didn't respect it. Nothing changes. We saw the people on X from Gaza. They post their videos every day. So we know they didn't stop. They know they keep bombing them. We know they keep killing them. They're taking them now. They have like gas chambers or whatever to death penalty, just like the Nazis. And January, ceasefire, not respected. And now bombing Lebanon. Remember that Hamas, Hezbollah, and all these groups, they were resistance groups. Okay? And I'm not a specialist of the Middle East. That's why before this year, I never really talked about it or had a strong opinion about it, because I was like, I'm not a specialist. It's hard to understand. They all tell you something different. Of course, they all think they're right. It's long past history. But now I've lived in the Gulf. I've lived in Bahrain. And I see the images every day. So it would be difficult not to have some common sense about it and trying to stop that for the people who are there and they have no leverage I mean, they have the leverage by showing us what's going on. But we are lucky that the politicians, they're listening to us. So this is why we have to use that voice and this opportunity that they're listening to establish the dialogue, share the videos with them, share the information, I share both sides of the information. Even when it goes against what I believe and I see Netanyahu saying something that he's right, I share that too. So I'm trying to be objective here, not just saying that people are totally wrong, they're cockroaches because they think different than you, and you're the older person, you should be wiser, with more experience in politics in the USA. So you should use your leverage and pulling your strings to save people's lives. Okay, now they got them. They got all the terrorists. It's been 3 years. They've been killing so many people. I think they're going to calm them down a little bit. So anyways, yes, I want to say thank you to everyone who supports, everyone who is part of the network. And also be blessed. I hope that God will protect the innocents against all forms of threats and attacks and injustice, and really to protect our team and our little big group now that's been building online for many years now, that we trust each other. And I hope to finish the book really soon, within a week. I'm actually almost finished with the book. I just need to now to put it on page, make it beautiful and everything. So I think within a week, trying to get this done so I can send one to, or I'm not even going to tell who I'm going to send. Okay, so we never know. But yes, I'm going to send, I'll tell you after I send them. And then hoping to join the United Nations, the UNESCO in Paris, so we can work on more beautiful projects. The book is evidencing really the history, the good things that are happening, also the dramas. And now trying to go teach that at UNESCO and create art and make more beautiful, fun events, not just be arguing online, and hopefully as soon as those peace agreements are being settled, be able to go to these countries and help them rebuild, bring the culture, mindset that is going to be transformative, and not, after all the traumas that they've been suffering, really, that we feel it every day. And every day I'm like, why am I doing all this? I can have an easy life. I can just go to the beach right now. I have no really no obligation. I should take this as an opportunity to just take care of myself. But in fact, it's hard because we see all the images online. It's hard not to care and to, or completely turn off the phone and forget what you know and go enjoy your life. Well, we have to do this sometimes. We have to, but right now, as long as the book isn't published, and I think we have to not lose momentum, and stay solid, because if you're building all this, your team, they're counting on you. We all rely on each other. I'm happy to provide speeches, ideas for your strategies, for your speeches. They're super busy at the US government, so whatever you want to take and use, I'm so honored. So that can help you gain some time and also make you see the perspective from where we are. So yes, guys, yes, be blessed and protected. Thank you to everyone, and talk soon. Bye.